Shalom, shalom. I am Yamosha Ben Yisrael, pastor of Power Pack Ministries, and it is an honor and pleasure to have you tuning in with us today. As you view this message today, it's a study and a discussion on the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses or Moshe. So we're going to have an open dialogue with those of the members and congregants of Power Pack Ministries that is on the Zoom. So you may hear some of them talking or asking questions or so forth. But again, this is Torah studies, and Torah studies, we have it at 11:30 on Shabbat Saturday. So if you ever want to join us, you let us know. So again, you could reach us at powerpackministriesinc.com. So that's the website for our ministry, powerpackministriesinc.com. Our phone number here is area code 813-768-1367. Thank you again for joining us and viewing this message. All right, we're going to begin. So the lesson today that we are going to be discussing in Torah, we are going to discuss concerning Edom, the Edomites. And we are also going to open up discussion about things that will stop you from being in the presence of the Most High. So we're going to talk about this discussion today. So we are in the book right now, in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 23. That is where we're going to take our lesson from today. Deuteronomy chapter 23. So number 210 in the scriptures. So it's just a couple of pages in the first 5 books of Moshe. All right, so everyone should be there. And we're going to open up the reading here, and then we'll discuss. So this is the word of Yah, that is instruction coming to the prophet Moshe, Moses. He said, "He who is wounded by crushing of testicles, or whose penis is cut off, shall not enter into the community of Yahweh." So that is a real strong point to start a scripture, right? Straight out, the bat, right off Jump Street here. If you crush your testicles, he says that will prevent a man from coming before the Most High or seeing his face, or according to scriptures here, entering in his presence. So how is it that people believe that you can remove a male testicles or genitals and that would be okay? Now, if this here is accidental, and you cannot even enter into the presence of the king, would he excuse you for voluntarily removing it? Let's read that again, because that's a little blunt, right, fellas? I know the brothers here probably thinking, oops, that's not a good look, right? Crushing or cutting. A real man, people talking about, I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to get snipped. I don't know about you, but ain't no doctor putting nothing close to down there as far as a razor, a scalpel, or whatever they call the thing, you're not coming down there with no knife, nothing to cut, nothing. You done your job when you did the 8-day skin removal when I was as a child, and that's it. You ain't got no rights coming down there trying to put no knife or cutting nothing down there. How your brothers feel about that? Any comment on that? I'm hearing some grunt, but I ain't hearing no word.
No comment.
Huh?
No comment.
You say no. You say no comment on that, right? well. I would hope that you guys feel the same way I feel, because ain't nobody coming close to.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's read that again. First verse here. He said, "He who is wounded," that means something happened, an accident, something happened, "by crushing of testicles, or whose penis is cut off, shall not enter into the community of Yahweh." He says, that community, you're going to be put into a special place. You're going to have your own community for people that decided to. Now that is not even talking about sex changing. That's just talking about somebody getting wounded, and you cannot even be in the community, acting like, because you're not fully a man right now. According to what happened to you, you have to go someplace special for special people like you. So that is amazing, just to listen to this. And then hear what he says. It says in verses 2, "A miser shall not enter the community of Yahweh. He said, even a 10th generation of his shall not enter the community of Yahweh." Now, that is going to really put a stinger on a lot of people, because not just the person that has a crushed testicles or a removed penis, but that is a whole nother community that is being developed because of this next next point here. So a lot of our people, in order to come back to the community of Yahweh, have to be some serious amending of the contract, which I believe that the sovereign Yahushua has done for us, because according to the commands, the laws was so strict, some of us would not have made it in the presence of the Most High. We would not have made it. Had it not been for Messiah, we couldn't get there. Not with some of the stipulation of the contract. And that's why, being a Hebrew, being one that followed the commands of the Torah, it was very, very, very strict and very hard and very, what you would say, dogmatic. You couldn't get around it. You had to be precise about every single point of the Torah. That's why it said man had a hard time keeping it. Had it not been for Yahushua, we would have been doomed in a lot of ways, especially today. Boy, we would have had some serious trouble. Because let me explain what a miser is. Some of you may wondering right now, what is a miser? Well, according to my research, not a miser, but a manzer, as I should say, a manzer. What is a manzer? A manzer is a person born from a forbidden union under the Torah. Did everybody understand that? A manzer is a person born from a forbidden union under the Torah. Now let's see what's forbidden under the Torah that will cause people to be left out. In this case, had it not been, again, for the mercies of Yahushua. The first one that I looked up was unmarried children. Now, some of us here would probably say, I would not have made it in. And maybe a few of us here might have said that unless we had both mother and father being married, right? In America today, you call that having child out of wedlock, outside of marriage. And the commands, according to the Mosaic law, says that a manzer or unmarried person giving a birth to a child, that child was not accepted in the community, because bringing in children into the world was supposed to be between a man and a woman that is married. That's how the plan was. So all the rest of the children that came into the world would have been outside, that came into the world outside of marriage, would have to be in a different category, as you say, under the law. You would not have made it in if you were born outside of marriage and wedlock. The other one is adultery. Which put a person or children outside of marriage, or the persons are not being married. That's why it's called adultery. It's something that happened that separating the marriage or causing conflict in the marriage, and a child is born out of that, going outside of the marriage. So again, if you look at those things carefully, the Torah is very, very strict and did not leave any room for mistakes because of crushing. Did not leave room for oops. Did not leave room for adultery. Did not leave room for any of those things. So we have to be so grateful to Messiah, Yahushua, who went in and atoned for our sin, removing our sins, and giving us, because the wages of sin is death. And according to the Torah, if you have committed sin, which is breaking of the law, you would have been put to death. So the law you had to be perfect in to keep the Torah. You had to keep it in perfection, because if a man broke one of the Torah, he was guilty of all. So again, the perfection of the Torah was very, very strict. You had to live that life from the day you was born, following every step, every principle, every single line, every line on line and precept upon precept. You wouldn't make it in. Very few people probably would have been able to made it through, really. So let's continue to read here. Any question? Any comments? Torah is also a time where we midrash. And midrash is where we keep a dialogue and we discuss the matters among ourselves. So it is not just a person preaching or teaching you, but it's also a open conversation and discussion. So is there any comments that anyone want to make on those points? Okay, we will move on. So these are just a few of the things that would have kept us out of the community of the Creator, of the Most High. and the sovereign Yahushua spiritually before he came and physically died for us. So let's go. So now, verses 3, he say, an Amorite or a Moabite shall not enter the assembly of Yahweh. Even a 10th generation of them shall not even enter the assembly of Yahweh, ever enter in the assembly of Yahweh. So it went down to the Moabites and the Amorites, and it said even up to 10th generation. So that was the condition. 10 generation, you had to count 10 generation, and then after that, there would have been a grace period that they would have. But at this point, he said the 10th generation, okay, of the Moabite and the Amorites. Let's continue. That will not be accepted in the presence of the sovereign. But check this out in verse 4. He said, because they did not meet you with bread and water on the way when you came out of Mitzrayim, and because they hired against you Balaam of Beor from Peor of Aram, Nazarene, who curse you. So let's go back and let's check this out. So he said Peor, not Balaam, who was hired to curse the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt, and also that they did not come in bringing us water and bread when we were hungry and thirsty and trying to move out of Egypt while we was on our journey into the promised land. They refused to aid the children of Israel, and that was a big problem. The Creator says, listen, if you're going to treat my people like this when they are in need, when they have thirst and they are hungry, and you're not going to give them bread and water, you're not going to even, pretty much you saying, I'd rather you die on the way, or rather you be dead. I'm not going to help you survive. And when a person is refusing you aid, especially when you're so thirsty and so hungry, and would not come to your rescue and help you, that person don't care about you. That person would rather see you dead than come in and saving your life. So when you see a person in a situation, and it's a detrimental situation, and you pass that person, that blood is on your hands too. When you pass a person that you could help and rescue them, but because of the color of their skin, because of their ethnicity, or because of your bias against that person, you don't come in and aid that person. Even in war, let me give you an example. Even in war, and you wounded a person in the battlefield, and the war is just about over, or you're moving along, and that you could, that person imposing no threat on you, and you could save their life. It is not for you to kill that person if that person is imposing no threat on you. You ought to give that person aid and help them so they could survive, but you don't just go killing them. That is not right. You already destroy their strength and power to defeat you, or to, but you just gonna go and So again, there is laws in everything. In everything there is laws. You don't just be heartless. That's what he's trying to get to you. You cannot just be heartless against human being, against people. You're driving down the road and you hit an animal, or an animal run out and hit your car. You don't just leave the animal there to suffer. Now, it might sound cruel, but if the animal is wounded so bad that the animal would not survive, the best thing to do is to finish it off. You would say, well, that's murder. No, that's go ask Dr. Kovakian. That's that is a merciful that is what they call mercy relief or mercy. I don't want to use the word because, but anyway, you cannot just leave the animal in pain, suffering. If you can't get it to a vet or someplace where you could, it will survive or whatever, you can't just leave it like that. You will have to use some serious compassion, judgment to relieve the animal from its pain. Any comments on that? Because it sounds cruel, but which one is more cruel? Unaliving that animal or leaving it in its cruelty, in its suffering?
Leaving it in its suffering.
Huh?
I think, leaving it in its suffering. That's terrible.
Right. So, yeah. The other part about it is that I know people would say, man, you actually, committing a crime or something. But which one would be worse? To leave it suffering, knowing that it's not going to make it, but it's going to be unalive through pain throughout the duration that it spends on the earth for the next few minutes or the next couple of hours. It's not going to make it. And you just walk away and leave it there to suffer. That blood is on your hands, even more so than relieving it from its situation. I know some of you probably thinking, man, I don't know if I could do that. But just leaving it to suffer is even worse. So you would have to man up and, put on your big boy pants and do what you got to do in order to show mercy. So those are tough situation, right? Real tough. But we coming down. We're coming down here. So then it says here, you went and you get Balaam, who is of Baal Peor, Aram, Nazarene. He said to curse you. He said, but Yahweh, your Elohim, refused to listen to Balaam, and Yahweh, your Elohim, turned the curse into a blessing for you, because Yahweh, your Elohim, love you. So even when they done that against us, against our people, the Most High and the sovereign Yahushua has made a decision. The Edomites and the Moabites, people that did not bring you aid, or people that fought against you, or people that wanted to see you suffer in your situation. What is going on? Is we are in a rough situation here. Those of you that just came on, we in Torah studies, and we in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23. The discussion is we were talking about things that will stop a person from getting before the congregation of the Most High, and also discussion about a very loud topic that is on today is the Moabites. We want to talk because we are hearing it all over the place that the Moabites, not the Moabites, the Edomites, the Edomites are the descendants of Esau, which is, they are a Caucasian set of people, a people that is not a part of Israel and is rejected. So we're going to talk about all of that. So again, some of you need to go over, or you're going to miss this, but you probably could get the video because we're recording it, and it's going to be up on YouTube and Facebook, giving me a hard time to post some of the messages, but hopefully we could able to post it. So again, Deuteronomy chapter 23, talking about a man, testicles that have been crushed or cut off cannot be in the company of the Most High. So in his congregation. So that, and then we talk about a manza. What is a manza? For those of you that missing all of this, that's why coming in, you got to get in right on time so you can get a lot of this. A manzer is a person, again, which a lot of us may fall in that category unless we have two-parent home family that been married, and even then, a manzer is a person that is born from a forbidden union under the Torah, and that is children that is born from parents that is not married, and also adulterous relationship that bring forth children. That is called a manzer. And what is that? Again, today we may call it, you're not from a wholesome union, okay? So you're a child that is born out of wedlock, mitzvit, or you would call them in many different ways. So now we down to, so we're coming down, and this is where the Creator said that, he said that these two people, the Amorites and the Moabites, he says could not, that's in verse 3, could not come before him. He said even to the 10th generation. Then he comes down in verse 4 and he explained why they couldn't come before him, because they did not meet Israel with bread and with water. They refused to aid them. And we talk about the wounded animals. So now, and they hired Balaam to cuss them. And that is in verse 5. Also, the Creator show us that he take the curse and he turn it into a blessing. People that put roadblocks for you don't realize they also put in roadblocks for themselves. Because if they put up a roadblock against you, that means when they coming back that way, they have to move those roadblocks in order for them to pass. So when you put a roadblock for a person, just know that you're blocking yourself out from that region too. So that is what happened. So look at, let's read verse 5. Verse 5 said, and Yahweh your Elohim refused to listen to Balaam, and Yahweh your Elohim turned the curse into a blessing for you, because Yahweh your Elohim loves you. He loves you so much that when people put curses on you, he will turn the curse around and make it work in your favor and show you favor to a curse and give you a blessing. Turn that around. He said, verse 6, he said, do not seek their peace nor their good. He said, all your days forever. Wow. So that is really, really a high level of stipulation right there. He said, don't seek their peace or their goods forever. He said, don't do that. That is the Amorites and the Moabites. Okay. But then we come down here. Those are these two people. We turn that around and we put it on Edom. That was not on the Edomites. That was on the Amorites and the Moabites. So check this out right there. But let's go to the Edomites and let's talk about it, because that is the one that a lot of our Hebrew brothers are stressing. And let's see. They don't want nothing to do with Edom. They curse Edom. They act like Edom is the as they said, because the scriptures say Edom is the end and Yaakov is the beginning. But they don't understand that. What does that mean? They don't discuss it. They don't explain it. And let's continue to go. So hear what he said. Do not seek their peace. Verse 7. He said, do not loot for Edomite. Do not loot an Edomite. Meaning, do not abuse an Edomite. Don't abuse them. Don't abuse an Edomite. For he is what? Say those words here with me. He is what?
Where are you?
I'm in verse 7. 23 and 7. Huh?
Your brother.
He is what? Help me. Come on, I want to hear you.
Your brother.
He is your brother. Edom, the Edomites is your brother. So when you hear those Hebrews that is not brewed yet, that don't understand scriptures and rejecting Edom, they have to give account for scriptures. They have to give account for the Torah, because any man that breaks the Torah or teaches one little one to go astray, he says it's better for him to put a millstone around his neck and drown himself in the sea. Don't turn a person away from the truth because you want to establish your own establishment. So hear what he says. He said, do not loathe an Edomite, for he is your brother. Do not loathe a Mitzrite. Again, a Mitzrite, the people from Egypt. Don't go back and treat them bad or hold that hatred over them, because we were our ancestors and our journey from Egypt all the way into being scattered. We are going to blame them for it. No, that's the government. That's the people in high power, in high offices. Those are the ones that make the rules, not the common people. The Mitzrite and from people from Mitzrayim, from Egypt, they were people that, they didn't harm us like the government did in Egypt. It wasn't the people. So he said, don't go and, take out what the government do against on the people. Do not load the people. Hear the reasoning for it. He said, because you've been a sojourner, right, in their land. You were a foreigner in the land of the Egyptians. You were a foreigner. And the Egyptians, you live among them. They didn't treat you like you were slaves and you were, that was the job of the government. That was the job of the leaders in high places. Those are the ones that was responsible for that. The local Egyptian people, oh no, just like, don't go around, because what other people are doing, hating Mexicans. Some of us, we living in houses that Mexicans build, and roof that covering your head. It came from some of the Mexican work and some of the Mexican food that you eating that they planted in the field. So why hate those people because you're hearing all this talk about Mexico and Mexicans and blah, 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 and the other? No, those are things that happen among, the people that make the laws and set it up. So now, because they have a hatred, because they have a control power, they want you to hate those people. And that's what the Most High is saying. They don't hate these people, them. These people, them, are being good to you. These are the people he sent us back to go back and get the gold and the silver from. Had they not been good to us, would the Creator say, go and ask them for gold and silver and garment and all that? They would not have given it. They would not have feel that, we deserve to be blessed. No. But he said he turned the curse into a blessing. So we're gonna continue this here. I want to show you something else. So he said, listen, right here in verse 7, he said, do not treat them bad, which is the Edomites and the Mitzrite. He said, because you were sojourner in the land. He said, the children, here, now he's breaking it down. The children of the third generation born to them do enter the assembly of Yahweh. So listen, so although there was, they had some gaps and some things that happened, but the Creator said, listen, the third and the fourth generation that was born to these people, those children, just like we look now and we want to give a pass to the Gentiles, we give a pass to their children, and some of us we say, well, they didn't do us any wrong, and so forth. Although they are the ones that are inheriting from what their ancestors had done. And systematically that is being set up against us, we are not holding it against them. We just saying that, listen, You cannot continue like your ancestors did. You cannot continue thinking that you are better. You cannot continue thinking that we are 3/5 of a people. You cannot continue to treat us that way and you rule over us. No, if you want to live among us, you want to get into our community with our music and our culture and our food and our so forth and so forth, you got to come right. You can't come in with the hostility of your ancestors, the way they treated us, and expect us to bring you into a company and treat you like you're a king. That's not happening. You better leave that thing way back then, you know what I'm saying? And you got to come and repent for your own ancestors, and you better make it right and act like you have some sense. Don't come among us right now, those woke people, and act like you still got master control in you. You are master that's going to control our children and our grandchildren because you inherited the wealth. And now we got to come and serve you and scrub your floor and iron your clothes and do this and do that. And you know what I'm saying? This is a new age, this is a different generation here. Don't come fooling around now. Leave that over there, you know, because we ain't got the patience for that no more. Not like that. All right now. That's where the hairs start raising up on my skin. Like, so I gotta calm down, go back down. Because, you know, sometimes we go remembering what we've been through. So hear what he says. This is what he said. He said, and when the camp goes out against you, against your enemies, then you shall gather yourself from every evil matter. And say when they come up against you, when the different camps come up against you, then you all gather yourself together. You don't acting, you start acting on emotion and you acting. No, when they come up against you, that's when you gather together. That's when you pull your resources together. That's when you decided, oh yeah, we're not going to ride that bus today. Oh yeah, we're not going in that grocery store today. Oh no, we're not going to support you in that manner so you could get strength to beat us down. Oh no, we're not doing that. We're not even going out on the street and, getting into your foolishness so you could spray us down or unalive us or whatever. That's not our fight right now. Our fight is a whole lot different. Our fight is to spiritually and economically and, get our well-being, get ourselves in a different mindset so we can stand up and we could truly be a people, reckon. All right. I hope you got something from the Torah today. Any comments?
Pastor?
Yes, sir.
There's a couple verses you didn't read about the Edomites.
Okay, where is that?
Obadiah.
Uh-huh.
Go there.
Well, remember we in the Torah. We teaching Torah today.
Okay.
So we're gonna take that up on another day.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially we're gonna do that maybe in scripture studies or something of that. But Torah today, we're doing the 5 book of Moshe right here. All right.
You're right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's several other verses about what the Most High is going to do to the Edomites.
Yeah, well, of course. I know what trust me, I've been studying this book for a long time. So,
okay.
All right, we'll talk about it. All right, so again, any more questions or comments on the Torah? Everybody good on the crushing of the genitals and all that, and knowing that if a person, so how do you see people that make a decision that says, well, I no longer want this thing dangling, I want to remove it? Any comments on that? All right. I guess we all settle that matter then. No cutting that stuff out. You leave it, let it hang, leave it there. That don't worry about it, just leave it there. That's where it's supposed to be. Leave it there. You ain't got to be anybody. You ain't got to be different. You got to be what you are, what he made you, what he created you to be. And if you decide to remove it, then you're going to be dealt with. And you will not be in his presence. So again, Yahushua came and brought, a lot of us would not have made it according to Torah. So he came in, and he is the last sacrifice. There is no more sacrifice that is going to be made by lamb, by turtle doves, by bullocks, by any kind of goats or any kind of thing of the sort. No blood offering cannot remove our sin or bring us back before the Creator, except the sacrifice of Messiah Yahushua, who has given his life and take away the death penalty from us, the unalivement from us. So I'm glad that we had this conversation. We went over Torah a little bit. So shalom again to all of you out there. Again, this is Torah teaching, and thank you. Go and check out the website. Check the opening of the video. You'll find the phone number. You'll find the website, and we will be back with you.